Get drunk at 10 a.m. I had to film these way earlier in the day than I planned because I have a flight earlier. I'm not gonna let the cocktails go to waste. So anyway. Welcome to another episode of Mixology and Mortgages with the Hatchman. Today I'm talking about something that I'm very passionate about, and that is loans for our veterans, or the VA loans. More specifically, 5 things that you did not know about VA loans. This is really important information, and there are questions that come up a lot. Number 1, it is a multi-use thing. You can use the VA loan many times. It's not a one-time use. I don't know why that is, what do they call it, a myth? Or people think that it's a one-time use thing. No, you can use the VA loan over and over and over. You can actually have 2 VA loans at the same time in some instances. Purchase your first home, your second home, your third home, 4th, 5th, 6th. Sometimes in the military, you get moved around a lot. You need to buy a lot. Use that VA loan. It's one of the best ones out there. It is a phenomenal loan. So, not a one-time use loan. The other thing you didn't know is that with the VA loan comes a VA funding fee. Now, this is not an origination fee. It's not a cost from your lender. It is a fee that the actual VA charges. Now, however, if you are disabled or if you have a VA-related disability, in many instances, that VA funding fee can be waived. If you have a percentage of disability through the VA, in many cases, that funding fee can be waived. A couple other things about the VA funding fee. It shows as a closing cost on like your line item in the disclosures, but it's not an out-of-pocket cost. If there is a funding fee, it's rolled into the loan. And it's different depending on if it's your first time use, if it's a second time use, if it's a refinance, if it's to purchase. So the fee varies. It's based on a percentage. You can actually find all this information online through the VA website. Don't take my word for it. Check out the VA website. If you don't have any, service-connected disabilities, there, more than likely is going to be a funding fee. And keep in mind, that's not from your lender. That's the actual fee for the VA loan itself. Another one, and this is why it drives me crazy that listing agents or sellers turn away VA loans, especially if you are in a more rural location where appraisals take a little bit longer. Did you know that the appraisal on VA loans, from the day we order it, it has to be back within 10 days. This is the only loan that does that. 10 business day turn time, which is awesome because in many cases, if you're doing conventional or FHA or USDA or whatever, we just have to put an order out there and, an appraiser could say, oh, well, I can get to it in 6 weeks or I can get to it in 3 weeks. If it's a VA appraisal, you're getting that back within 10 days of ordering it. Downside is they don't give us any status updates. They don't tell me when they're gonna go out and visit the property, but a 10-day turn time, and it could be faster than that. It's just they have to have that full appraisal report back to us within 10 days. The other thing that's important to note is that once we get the appraisal report, it's not like other appraisals where I can release it immediately. It still has to go through a VA underwriting review to make sure that it meets all the correct requirements, and they have to give something called the notice of value. That is what dictates the actual value of the home. Sellers, listing agents, anyone who thinks that VA appraisals are inferior, you're wrong. Straight up. I don't know how else to say it. VA appraisals themselves are fantastic. Again, they're going to show the most accurate value of any other loan out there. If you have sellers turning offers away from veterans, 1, that just pisses me off, but 2, they're just wrong. VA appraisals are one of the best ones out there, and they have the quickest turn times. VA loans are 0 down with no mortgage insurance. They're the only ones that do this. If you're gonna do conventional FHA or USDA and do less than 20% down, you're going to pay an extra premium called PMI, or private mortgage insurance, or MI, mortgage insurance. There's a lot of different names and acronyms for it, but the fact of the matter is every other loan minus the VA loan with a small down payment is going to be more monthly because of that extra insurance cost. VA loan doesn't have it. I love that that's a thing because you can still buy a house as long as it's your primary residence with 0 down, and you don't have to worry about an extra monthly fee that's going to make your payment higher. Here's another little factoid, a little 4.2 version fact of VA loans. When we've talked about debt to income ratio percentages, VA has no set maximum. They don't have a guideline like conventional does. With FHA, they say they don't have one, but we all pretty much know as lenders what the kicker is going to be. I've had loan approvals on VA loans up in the 60%, like 60% debt to ratio. Now, again, is that a smart thing to do? Maybe, maybe not. If you are, new in your career and you've got some student loan debts and things like that, your debt ratio might be a little bit higher. They factor into that, and the VA loan is one of the most forgiving when it comes to giving an approval, as long as you've got good credit and other good factors with high debt to income ratio. And the fifth thing that you did not know about VA loans, they have no loan limit. Sky's the limit with VA loans. They legitimately do not have an actual limit. There's always a but or an asterisk that goes along with this. But with an FHA loan, depending on the county that you live in, you're capped at a certain dollar amount. With conventional, it's capped at a certain dollar amount. And then once you're above those, you have to look at things like jumbo loans or non-conforming or getting maybe a second loan. So when you get into those higher dollar amounts, there's only so far that FHA, conventional, and USDA can take you. Whereas VA, there is no set limit. You can buy $1 million home, $2 million home, $3 million home. The VA loan is phenomenal. It has true no loan limits. These are 5 things that I bet you did not know about VA loans. So if you learned something new, be sure to pass it along to someone. If you know a veteran, if you yourself are a veteran, again, great options. They're for our veterans, so of course they have to be the best loan out there. That's just common sense. All right, let's get to it. Let's make a cocktail. I'm excited about this one. It combines 2 of my favorite spirits, which is mezcal and bourbon. So this one is called El Zapatero. The Zapatero is gonna be mezcal, bourbon, this orgeat or orgeat? How do you say that? Orgeat syrup. Anyway, bitters and bitters. So this is gonna be a stirred cocktail, not a shaken. So this is predominantly mezcal. If you don't know what it is, it's a smoky tequila. Like, that's the best way I can explain it. All right. Oh yeah, it's so good. And this one is by Dos Hombres. I don't know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad. 2 main characters, Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, Walter and Jesse. They make this mezcal, and it's really good. It's super legit. So we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of that in the stirring glass. And then this is a 1792 small batch bourbon. Pretty solid bourbon. They make a lot of different versions of it. The small batch is the most basic. Really good though. I mean, so we're gonna use 1/2 ounce of this. Okay, 1/2 ounce of bourbon. And you can really use any kind of bourbon. This was just, as you can see, it was coming towards the end of its life here, so I wanted to use some of it in this cocktail. And then we have the orgeat, damn it. How the hell do you say this? I know I've talked about simple syrups and how I make them in the past. This one's a little more labor intensive. I didn't want to deal with this, so I went to the store and I bought some. It says it's a traditional French almond syrup. It's made with a small amount of apricot kernels, California almonds, giving it a marzipan flavor without the use of extract. So, okay. So they use it a lot in like Mai Tais, Japanese cocktails, but it's also used in El Zapatero. So we're gonna use 2 bar spoons of this. You always need to shake this stuff up, like it'll separate like the liquids and the stuff that's in there. If you wanna make it, good for you. It seemed a little too intense for me. So there is 1 bar spoon and 2 bar spoons. I got a little extra in there. And then we're gonna get a dash of classic Angostura bitters. Dash of that. And then a dash of chocolate bitters. Okay, and then of course we add our ice and we stir it up. So then we stir it up. Remember the difference between stirring and shaking. Shaking dilutes it a little bit more, you get more broken ice. Stirring preserves more of the spirit flavor. It dilutes it less, there's less water since we're not shaking it around and we're just stirring it. You really just stir it until it kind of gets a little bit of frost on the outside. I don't know if you can see that, but there we go. Nice clear ice cube, just throw that in there and just strain over the top of the ice cube here. And then the garnish on this is very specific. It's orange peel, grated cinnamon, and then it's called a cocktail cranberry. Basically just a cranberry that's been dusted in sugar. For today, since I don't have one, we're gonna use a regular cherry. So it gives it a similar look. A little bit of orange peel. Press that over the top a little bit. Get that zest in there, rub it around the top, similar to like an old fashioned. Just drop that in there. A little bit of grated cinnamon. That'll do it. And then our brandied cherry here. All right. That on top. And there we have it. El Zapatero. That is a good looking cocktail. Cheers, my friends. I hope you learned something new about the VA loan. Cool cocktail. It combines mezcal and bourbon. I mean, what more can you ask for? If you do have any other questions or if you want to hear about any other topics, hit me up in the comments. And as always, have a great rest of the day.